Democrat Party is historically racist, instituting racist laws, racist agendas. So when I hear black folks and other folks say that the other candidate, Orange Juice Jones, they say he's a racist, right? But that's typically what you do. And Nancy Pelosi pretty much said that when she talked about, which has been aired public, about how to bring somebody down, what you do to them. And she gave the scenario on how you do that. And they've been doing it a long time. So the folks who don't understand what they're doing and you are just blindly going with the narrative, let's blame the other people. This is the Nancy Pelosi effect. Let's blame other people for what we actually do and demonize them. And then we dump a bunch of money behind a campaign and we push the false narrative. Okay? That's what she said. That's what they've been instituted and been doing for a very long time. But see, with this guy right here and then his running mate, the great Kamala, she's just carrying along the same policies. Okay? And what he did, she did the same exact thing in California. But y'all black folks still chasing behind this witch.
Perspectives change over time. Bobby Rush, member of Congress, said the other day, "I'm ashamed that I voted for the '94 crime bill." You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. In fact, I drafted the bill, as you remember.
I know that.
Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure.
Okay, who you think he talking about, folks? You think he talking about Asian folks? No. You think he talking about Spanish folks? No. You think he talking about white folks? Way no. Who you think he talking about? Look at the fire in his attitude, in his tongue, how he feels. You can't feel the racism coming off of him?
Without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although...
Okay, so wait a minute, Doc. You said we're not going to focus on them out of love. We're going to focus in on us out of a need to put us away, to keep us out of your neighborhoods, away from your daughters and your wives. But dig this here. Now we not the problem. This joker, along with everybody else in this party, the ones who are now a threat are the ones you let in. And they are taking over your little sanctuary cities. Let's keep going.
I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
Okay, hold up, Doc. One more again. Your son is a predator and a dope fiend. And this same message, this is not the complete speech he gave. He talked about selling dope and crack and drugs. And that same law he came up with don't apply to his son, though.
That society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Mass incarceration has put hundreds of thousands behind bars for minor offenses. Joe Biden wrote those laws.
Every major crime bill that's come out of this Congress has had the name Joe Biden on that bill.
We do everything but hang people for jaywalking in this bill.
Joe Biden's policies destroyed millions of black lives. Joe Biden may not remember, but we do.
Now, y'all all know that Kamala Harris did the same thing in Cali. She locked up tons of brothers. with that little whole marijuana thing and other things that was going on, and laughed all the way to the bank about it. That's why her and Biden are two peas in a pod, and they got the same policies. Ain't nothing gonna change when she get off up in there. Now, I truly believe that if something happened to old Joe, she's gonna automatically get the chair and further it all the way to January 2025.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
So that's not racist. He comes directly out. This is the thing I don't like about the politic game, the whole thing, and the brainwashing and the tribalism. People get stupidly ignorant when it comes to these videos, like y'all don't remember these videos exist and what he said out his mouth.
Take a look at my record, man.
When I marched in the Civil Rights Movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others.
He had not actually marched during the Civil Rights Movement and kept telling the story anyway.
I came out of the Civil Rights Movement. I was one of those guys that sat in and marched and all that stuff.
Now, his aides went back to say, look, he was in office marching for the idea.
That's not the word marching means on Twitter.
I was not out marching.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
And you ain't black. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Okay, poor kids, let's examine. Poor kids. So white kids are not poor? We don't have poor white kids in this country? And y'all say the other dude is racist?
You ain't black. You ain't black. You ain't black. You ain't black.
The most racist thing a person could tell me is that I'm supposed to choose something based on my race.
You ain't black.
All right, folks, that has been this day of drinking or undrinking the Kool-Aid. But some people will still gobble that Kool-Aid down with extra sugar.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
And I inhale. I did inhale.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
I learned, I think I was, 22 when I started that work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. All because of the swipe of my pen. Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed. So I learned at a very young age the power.
This message goes out to the black community that is voting based on skin color. I want you to think about something. The Venezuelans, they don't care nothing about no votes. They're going to fight you based on their skin color. They're going to fight you. What y'all want to do?
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble.